Hello everyone and welcome to my new video. And what is this video about? Well, it's basically the same stuff I always do, just a slightly different way, because, you know, I like to think of myself as a struggling artist and I can't come up with groundbreaking ideas all the time. Sometimes I just need to tinker and have downtime. So I'm just going to do what I normally do, which is just fiddle around with breakbeats because, you know, I can never really get bored of breakbeats, really. There's just always time for breaks. And anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at using the push to sequence some breaks. Normally in the past, I've kind of looked at how to perform them live, but this time we're going to take a bit more of a linear approach and use some of the step sequencing functions, whilst also kind of having a look at what can and can't be done in a critical sense. So I've got some breaks here, which I prepared earlier. Amen breaks, and I'm going to put all those into my drum rack. How do I do that? I have to go to the drum rack here, and I'm going to put them there. Okay. Cool. So first thing I want to do is I want to set the release time quite high to all of them here. Copy value to siblings. Then I'm just going to quickly jump. I could do this from the push, but it's a little quicker to do it this way. To jump in here and give them all a choke group of 1. So whenever I trigger them, they'll loop until they fade out and they'll cancel each other out. Okay, and I've actually just realised that one of them is wrong, so I got it right, okay. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of take a little look at the this thing here of, you know, kind of creating clips and focusing on certain parts of the clip to work on, you know, sort of single sequences. Let's just delete that clip. All right, so I think I've kind of got everything I need, except a sip of beer. Hopefully you can see everything okay. Okay, so first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to just sort of go through the different types of sounds that I've got here. This one is kind of my context. That's just that's the whole loop. And then I've got some snares, ghost notes, and the crash. What I'm also going to do is actually duplicate a couple of these ones, and I'm going to turn the release down on these ones, because I'm going to show you something later with that. So basically what I'm going to do is just sequence some breaks. So I'm just going to start with this first bit here, and I'm going to select the pad I want, and I'm going to just put one note in there. Okay. Cool. So that is 1 bar in one part of the clip. We can extend the clip up to 64 bars, but rather than doing that by doing that, I'm going to undo, and I'm just going to duplicate that loop until it fills up that clip. Oh no, hang on. I've just done it wrong. Let's go back to the clip. Duplicate loop, double loop. Sorry, right now we're going to double the loop so that it fills up the whole of that grid. So we've got 64 bars, I think, or 16 bars, however many, each triggering one note. Come on then, do it. Go on, do it. Hang on. There we go. So if I fill that up now, it's going through the many bars. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to basically overdub that with some of these other notes, but I'm going to turn record quantize on. So I'm going to hold quantize, and I'm going to jump up here to record quantize, and I'm going to start with a record quantize of 1/8. And let's just see how we go. Cool. So there we go. Just recorded a load of breaks. Let's go up. Let's go a little faster. Oh, okay. So those ones cut off because they've got a short release time. And the reason why I did that was because now that I've recorded a load of stuff with an 8th note quantization, I'm going to go in again and overdub more with these two notes with a higher quantize resolution. So I'm going to hold quantize. I'm going to go up to 16th notes. Doesn't matter that it's not in time because it's recording. That it'll record quantize. It'll quantize after I've recorded. So let's go. See what we have. Oh. Cool. Yeah. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use note repeat at a stupidly fast resolution of 32, and I'm going to put some of these in. Let's go. Oh, bit choppy. Okay, so, all right, so basically in there were a couple of sort of short notes that were a bit uninteresting. So I'm just going to find where that was by focusing on one part of the clip. Wasn't there. No. That's it. So I'm going to overdub some of these note repeats here. Okay. Yeah, it's okay. So basically what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back into the drum rack here and I'm going to focus on these two. I can color code these, right? I think I can hold shift. Ah, there we go. All right, so let's put them to, let's put that one to blue as well. Cool, so I've got different colored pads. That's fun. So I'll go into these two different colored pads and I'm going to turn warp off on that one and on that one. And I'm just going to apply a pitchy LFO to them. I'm going to turn re-trigger off on both of them. And that's just going to give me a little bit of, you know, silly stuff. See how that sounds. Yeah. Cool. So there you go. That's just it's a pretty fun way to kind of produce some breaks in a linear fashion rather than just randomly like I would normally do. I'm starting to get into this, although I have been running into a couple of problems along the way that have kind of made me think the step editing on this thing has got a bit of a long way to go. So there are a couple of things. If I just let's go to a new clip and I'll just create a new little bit of a clip there. So if I was to select this pad and press in that note, and if I hold it, I can adjust the length. Or can I? No. Okay, right. Let's try that again. So I've put the note in. Now if I press and hold it, I can change the length of the note, which is pretty cool. That's kind of cool. We can come down like that. That's quite a neat feature. But you know what? It doesn't really work as smoothly when you're working with step automation. So I've been trying to get into doing step automation by turning automate on, and I haven't particularly got anything interesting to automate. So let's just hang on a minute. Let's go to this one. Let's pick something to automate. Let's pick the filter to automate. So I'll tell you what, let's just macro that to number 1. And then if I go to, where are we? Drum rack. Okay, so I've got my filter mapped on macro 1 there. Now, if I press and hold that pad and go to automate, I can automate some parameter there on that step. But if I want to do it for more than one step, I haven't really worked out a nice way to do it other than kind of holding down all the pads and then doing it. If you look at, oh, hang on, have I screwed it up? So you can see there now on the screen that I'm step automating 3 steps, which is nice. But what if I want to do like 8 steps or 16 steps? I don't have enough fingers for that. So my thinking is that if I can go into a step and change the length of it, it would be nice if the length of that step could also apply. Oh, it does. Look, it does. Yeah, look, it does. Look. Oh, I take it all back. So that's what I've been doing wrong. So once you choose the length of a step, you can apply the step automation to that whole thing. That's pretty good. So if I come down to here, then it'll just do it for those 4 steps. That's cool. Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff we could do with that. So what if I want to kind of interpolate between 2 values? Like I want to have a sweep here. Not really entirely sure how to do that. I wonder if no. So yeah, that's kind of a problem I have with it, is that like if I wanted to put a sweep in there like that, there isn't really a way I can do that from the push. It would be nice to sort of select the step and have some sort of, I don't know, some sort of shortcut or shift function or something to just say that I want to sweep from here to here. And yeah, I mean, I can't do that, but it would be nice if you could put that into a future firmware or something, Ableton, because that would be really nice. I could do really lovely sweeps of stuff in my steps whilst I'm doing this. But anyway, so the other thing I was thinking about was that if I'm in here, let's just delete that automation for a minute. If I'm in here and I'm jamming around, can you see just in the corner here, I'm jamming around with this parameter and I want to like record that automation whilst the clip's playing. And I want to do that from push. If I press this button, it jumps to the clip view, which means I've kind of lost control of my parameter. I have to go back. Which is something I would like that not to do. So anyway, these are minor things. Otherwise, I'm having a great time trying this technique. Yeah. Cool. So yeah, that was it. Have a go at doing that, sequencing breaks like that from the push. Oh yeah, I thought of another thing. Like when you're in a clip, right? Let's just create a new clip here. Now, if I go into my clip here and I turn this blue button on, using the arrow keys on my keyboard, I can step around the clip. Can you see the orange playhead there? And this is kind of cool because, I can sort of add steps in myself like this. I've got note repeat on. I've always kind of really wanted them to develop that as well so that I don't have to advance the step. It'll just do it automatically after I press the note, like you do in trackers. In a tracker, you just choose your step length and then you hit a key and it moves to the next step. And here you kind of have to advance. And I was thinking, oh, you know, it's no big deal. But then I thought, oh, what if you could do that from push as well? So you created a clip here. And I don't want to like input the notes whilst the transport's running. It would be nice to kind of have this step sequencing functionality that you can do with the clip and the keyboard, but do it from push. So I could sort of like press this pad and then move left here, or rather right here, or right up here or something. But yeah, you know what? It doesn't do that. At least I don't think it does. No, so yeah, it doesn't do that. Can you put that in, please? This is kind of a rant. It's not really a tutorial, really. Anyway, let's go back to that lovely first clip we just made. Where is it? Oh, there we go. Anyway, try that yourself. Thanks for watching. Subscribe on Patreon, and I'll zip this file and put it up there, and you can try it yourself. Thanks for watching.